Hi guys, I'm Mohammed Visal, founder of Lowerated, where art is appreciated. Lowerated streamlines the process of filmmaking from planning to publication with the assistance of AI. Now, this is the second video of the L-M-6 algorithm. There's a few updates that I want to discuss. And in the previous video, we explained how the algorithm works, and there were a few improvements that needed to be done. For example, if somebody talks about something that's not related to the movie, then the rating shouldn't be affected because of it. So that is handled in this upgrade. The neutrality of a review does not affect the overall rating of the movie. Now let's talk about the star-based rating systems. I'm just going to give you a recap. We have already discussed this. So if somebody says, I didn't like the movie and gives it a 7, and there's somebody else who says, I really like the movie, but I'll give it a 7. These are totally different views that are not reflected by these star based reviews. And then there are review based systems. If somebody says the cinematography of the film was outstanding, and there's somebody else that says the film was poorly directed, the story was trash, we cannot just say the overall movie was an average movie because these reviews are talking about different aspects. And if you want to analyze it, for that we made LM6. Now, what LM6 does is it takes into consideration seven major aspects: direction, story, cinematography, characters, unique concepts, emotion, production design. Now, everything that's inside the movie, they lie somewhere in between these seven aspects. Now, they can be more than there's music, there's a bunch of different stuff, but you can put them in one of these seven categories. Now, if somebody says poorly directed film, the story was trash as well, we cannot just give it to a model and say, okay, you just give me some sentiments on whether the direction is good or the story is trash. We have to extract the relevant snippets first. So, poorly directed film will go into the direction aspect. The story was trash as well. This will go into the story aspect. If they're talked about multiple different times, because some people just write web pages, web articles on a movie. There's some critics who will write complete articles on discussing every aspect of a film. So we need to extract all the relevant information and not the unnecessary information. If somebody's talking about, oh, my wife died and I watched this movie and it was, you know, a devastating moment for me, this should not negatively affect the rating of the movie. But if somebody has talked about the story, okay, the story was touching and it was relatable, yeah, then of course it should it should impact positively the story aspect of the rating. Now, these snippets, once they are extracted from a review, then we give it to a different model. The previous model was LM6 movie aspect extraction BERT, which is a BERT model, basically a BERT model that is trained on our own data set. Then what we do is we give it to a zero shot model, which is LM6 Liberta V3 topic sentiment. What it does is it takes in that snippet and we give it two labels for every aspect. For example, this direction, we say, is their direction positively discussed or direction negatively discussed? And it will give us 1 or 0. So if a direction is positively discussed, that's a 1. If it's negatively discussed, then the negative label is 1. So we scale those values from 0 to 10. Then we get a 0 to 10 value for all of those 7 aspects. If something is not discussed, we just consider it 0 and don't consider it for the rest of the calculation. Now, what happens next? Now we have these ratings for every aspect against one review. What we do is we, for all of those reviews, we take a aspect-wise mean. So cinematography rating from one review, cinematography rating from another review, and so on and so forth. We take aspect-wise mean, and at the end we get these 7 values. Now, what do we do with those 7 values? We multiply them by their weights that are assigned to them. These weights are calculated from the survey we conducted upon what matters more in a movie. It's not that production design is not important, but if production design is talked about negatively and then the cinematography is talked about positively, it does not mean the overall rating should drop down drastically to just an average. So certain weights or ranks should be assigned. So we calculate the weighted mean, and there we go. We have our LM6 rating. Now, if a new review comes in, this does not mean we need to recalculate all the reviews again to calculate this mean. We just do a weighted rolling mean. So for all the stat guys out there, it's just the previous mean plus the effect of the new mean that we calculate. So what is that effect? That will maybe slightly affect the previous mean by it will make it slightly higher or slightly lower. If a movie was 6 and there's a new review that comes in that it says the movie is really great, really good, really good, it won't just go up to 9. It will go up to 6.1, 6.2 based on the amount of reviews that were previously evaluated. Now that we have our own rating, this is how the overall system works. How to use it? Well, you guys can use it on Hugging Face. It's available there. You can just give it textual reviews, or you can upload your own CSV or Excel file and mention the column where the reviews are placed at, and it will give you those 7 aspects with their ratings and the final score, which is the LM6 score. LM6 means low rated module 6. It's just our sixth module that we created. Now, if you want to use the library, it's the same. You can just pip install it, give it some reviews, and create an entity object, and then call the rate function, and it will give you the rating back. The dataset that we use is also open source. It will be on our Hugging Face organization. You can use it there. You can do all sorts of different things with it. Maybe you can train a different model that's performing better than the current one and contribute to Lowerated's library. It's open source. Future considerations, we had this in the previous video as well. Considerations include exploring advanced sentiment analysis techniques and expanding the model to encompass a broader range of filmmaking aspects for even more accurate ratings. Now we can add more aspects that we think they are also necessary. They don't lie in this big seven domain. Yeah, we can create a different aspect. We can train better models. We can train better sentiment models, and see the overall result, how it improves. So this is LM6 for you. Thank you so much for watching. And in the next, if you stay tuned, because we're going to be rating the top 250 movies on IMDb and see how it compares to our own rating and how the Rotten Tomatoes rate them. So it'll be a fun thing to do. Stay in touch. Have a good day or night, or whatever time you're watching. Goodbye.